Yes, family. So, so upright and upright is here again, you know what I mean? Turn up the energy. What you talk about, family? Where the energy there? More energy. What you talk about? You don't play around here. You see? Because everything, every animal have a life in it. And having a life in it is like what spiritual energy you are, you know what I mean? Upright and upright, open your eyes and don't be blind. We have some dangerous video for play tonight, and you know what I mean, family, you have to free yourself from mental slavery. Only you alone can free the mind, you know what I mean? Don't believe into things. You understand me, family? And I didn't want to kind of put this out in the topic as the start, you know what I mean, family? You see, sometimes you have to make your mind flow free. It's like don't have it in your mind and say the tree is the tree. You know what I mean? Just accept it. Say, oh, the people them in the world call um this element a tree. But what really is a tree? You know what I mean? The tree is a teacher. The tree is like a provider. The tree is like your soulmate. What is the tree? Don't look on the water as how them program you or teach the population, because these people are evil, yeah? And being evil is like, don't look on the water like how they teach you about the water. You understand me? Look on the water when you drink the water. Look on it and say, oh, the water give you good meditation. They give you it clean out the poison out of your body. You understand me, family? When you look on the moon, what don't bother like think about the moon like, oh, that is a moon. You understand me? Think about the moon. Say, all right, it's a part of you. You know what I mean? What part of you? When you're feeling low, when you're feeling sad, when you're feeling blue, you understand my family? And so we have to do the thing, you understand my family, and come to our senses. It's like don't have it for say, all right, when you look in the mirror, you say, oh yeah, I'm looking on Leroy, I'm looking on Simone, I'm looking on Renee, I'm looking on Queen Elizabeth, and all these things. These things are programmed. You understand me? Because you know directly you are not the body. You understand me? Because the body gonna die. You are a soul in the body. Soul can't die, family. Soul is energy. No matter what, family. Look how long energy is in the earth. And energy never die. You understand me? If you, like, a tree die, it drop a seed, it bring forth. The tree have energy inside of it. The water have energy inside of it. You got energy inside of you. You understand me? And in the physical form, them call energy, them call it spirit. You understand me? Yeah, so you have to know thyself, see me, you know what I mean, family? I love you so much, you know. Alright, send out some lion energy again. Alright, so like what I say, family. Yeah, man, give you a round of applause for you to become to yourself sense, you know what I mean, family? Yeah, man, round of applause. Yeah, because you have to be happy. It's like you're in the earth, you know what I mean, family? Yeah, enough people want to go to heaven, but no one want to die, innit? You understand me? The pastor tell you about heaven every day, yeah? But do the pastor want to die? You understand me? With these things, we have to recognize these things, you know what I mean? We have to know these things, you know what I mean, family? And knowing these things is like we work towards it, innit? We work towards a better of ourselves. You know what I mean? Yeah, we have to work to a better part of ourselves, family. Because we are good in it. And there is a better part about us in it. There is a good part about us. There is an alpha side about us. There is an amigo side about us. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, for real, man. So, so upright and upright in a family and open your eyes and don't be blind. Remember to share the link, same way. So we are going to turn up the energy, you know what I mean? And this is a great warrior, you know what I mean? A great warrior. And I don't see the warrior as the body. I see the warrior doing her journey, you know what I mean? All right, so now, I'm just going to play her, yeah? Listen to her voice, say, it's like she's a real warrior of the creator.
One whilst we can.
And the world is ours.
Serious people, we need to wake the fuck up because this is war. This This is fucking war. Because this is war. This is fucking war.
Yes, family. So you see, and we now stop now. Our next sister.
Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying.
Yeah, all warrior spirit I'm playing. Yeah?
I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man.
Alright, so on the alarm family, I wake up time, wake up spirit, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, for real, man.
And when you don't know who you are, you become a weapon against yourself. That's why it's so important to know, to be able to authentically identify with who you are. Because when you don't know who you are, you become a weapon against yourself. Because there are other powers and other entities that know exactly who you are and what you are capable of. And so they'll use your energy source. You are walking, talking, breathing pure fucking magic. You are.
Modern vampires of the city, hunting blood, blood, blood.
The way every day them get up and look on the TV, them read the newspaper, them want to see the truth. But them can't see the truth. Because the truth will not be found there. That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic. The way every day them get up and look on
One world.
Yes, family, so I'm gonna play around it. You see, I have ammunition for days, yeah? Alright, so I could start up a live, you know, yeah? Yeah.
You are chosen. One world, one family, one circle. Free world for our brothers and sisters. Inbox me, one movement.
When the earth and everything in it passes away, I will be. I hold the universe together from the smallest atom to the greatest galaxy. It all is in my hands. The sun is hidden in my shadow. I have set the earth on its foundations, and I rest my feet upon it. I stir the waters of the oceans with my fingers and shake the mountains with my breath. I am entirely holy and completely other. There are none before me and none like me who can question what I have done or what I will do. My kingdom is eternal and shall exist forevermore. I am the ruler over the kings of the earth. I am the prince of peace. I am the king of kings, the righteous king, the king of the Jews, the king of glory, the king of the ages, the king of heaven, and I am the Lord of lords.
Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth. Jesus is coming, it's coming, it's coming.
don't know who you are, you become a weapon against yourself. That's why it's so important to know, to be able to authentically identify with who you are, because when you don't know who you are, you become a weapon against yourself, because there are other powers and other entities that know exactly who you are and what you are capable of. And so they'll use your energy source. You are walking, talking, breathing pure fucking magic.
It's coming again. It's coming again. Glory be to God. It's coming again. It's coming again. It's coming
again. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. This passage of Scripture is one that always grabbed my attention. Time is moving toward the coming of the Son of Man. With each passing second, we are moving towards this coming. Matthew 24:36 through to 39 is a warning to the last generation. A warning that the Son of Man will come when we least expect him to come.
You understand me? God, look what they are doing to us. You understand me, family? Full time now. 2022. Let us come together.
Preacher went on to say to this man, "You may not believe he is coming back, and I am not going to try to persuade you that he is. I am just going to read one verse to you. Hebrews 9:27. And it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment." The preacher said, death still has a near enough 100% record. Whether you go to him or he comes here, it does not matter. And one day, sir, you will meet your Maker. One day, sir, the God you are making fun of, you will have to answer to. The gospel message was preached to this man, but it did absolutely nothing for this man. And I asked myself, why is this? And the answer is this.
There is no higher life. There is no greater life than in Jesus.
Yes, family, so so upright and upright again, you know what I mean? Send out some love to each and every one, you know what I mean? Upright and upright, you know what I mean? Yeah, family. Alright, so, family, hear me. Everything in the world is for us, you know what I mean? It's not for the government. Like the Creator never come and say, oh, government, you must have everything. He never come to the pastor and say, pastor, you need to talk to my people, you know what I mean? He never say that. Only thing the Creator would have say, for use your brain. You understand me? Because you are me and me is you. You understand me? You have to think for me same way. You have to think for you same way. You understand me? And there comes, we become the universe. You understand me, family? Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'm not going to really pop in. You know what I mean? Alright, family. So, what am I going to do? Hold on. Alright, so what I do, I play one of my video them. Play one of my video them. You know what I mean? Alright, so I'm going to the future, I'm going to the past. But I'm kind of explain the future and the past, yeah? A bit. You see the future is now. You see, time zone, when you travel, going to somewhere else. Like when I travel, go to Jamaica now, it's the same people in Jamaica now. I'm going to see who is in England. But through I travel through a time zone, yeah? Cause going up in the air and going into a next planet, what they call them country, I'm traveling into time. You understand me? Like now, I will be in England and be in England. The same friend what I have in Jamaica, I will find the same friend what I am amongst in England. You understand me? Same one in Jamaica. You understand me? It's just like I got sisters and thing, yeah? And having sister. The same one who I call sister, I see families like those one in Jamaica who I call sister in England. It's just like you have your mom. And next you go out there and you see someone just like your mom. What are you going to say? Oh, he's not your mom? No, he's your mom. It's the creator make him. But we are living a reflection life. You know what I mean? And living in a reflection life is like we think that people is people. Because people was programmed to be people. You see what I'm saying, family? Alright, family. So, like what I say now, I'm going to play this video. And this video going to take us into time. You know what I mean? When they say, oh, this is the funniest thing I ever see, yeah? Yeah, a movie, they talk about the future, yeah? But they have this famous movie out there, yeah? And this famous movie, it talk about Back to the Future. But they say Back to the Future now. But guess where people looking? People looking forward into the future. You understand me? So now, I'm going to take you back into the future. Like I'm reversing time. So things what happened before show you how they happen today. Yeah? So this video called Back to the Future, yeah? Yeah, so this one named Back to the Future, yeah?
What you know about rolling down in the deep? Rolling in the deep. Down in the deep.
Yes, family. So, you know what the thing set already? So upright and upright. Open your eyes, don't be blind. Open your mind, know what to think. Open your mouth, know what to say. Remember, Satan is just a vibration.
Execute judgment on you, Satan! You destroyer! You killer! You get out! You break your...
And you see, family, you see, back in the future, we know everything because, you see, what they call it, the Vatican City is like them have all of our history. And in the future, we open up all of them. So everyone know their history.
We're about to visit a place few people have seen firsthand, the Vatican Library, a vast collection of historic treasures beyond compare. Founded over 5 centuries ago, when Europe was coming out of the Dark Ages, a period of so-called humanism, when the Catholic Church was open to new ideas in philosophy, science, and the human spirit. It's the Pope's library, but it contains much more than just church documents. There are manuscripts going back nearly 2,000 years on music and math, warfare, and exploration, even cookbooks and love letters. The library is closed to the public, a place for scholars only. But the Vatican agreed to let us in to see some of the priceless artifacts of our collective past.
You understand me, family? And family, you can dream about the future because it's like we're all connected. You understand me? A lot of family dream and act the future. I'm not hacking the future. You know, like someone hacked the computer. Alright, so like what I say, it's like everyone in the future, yeah, they know their self, innit? They know their spiritual self, and we all become spiritual in the future where we all connect on the inside. You understand me, family? So that is the future. And remember, don't make the future pass you. The future is behind, yeah? All of these things. So this one is about Hitler, yeah? Remember them say Hitler was like a man who killed, or some would say Hitler is a good man, and all of these things, yeah? And
how did Adolf Hitler, a tyrant who orchestrated one of the largest genocides in human history, rise to power in a democratic country? As its imperial government collapsed, civil unrest and worker strikes spread across the nation. He believed the war could have been won if the army hadn't been betrayed by politicians and protesters. For Hitler, these views became obsession, and his bigotry and paranoid delusions led him to pin the blame on
the reality, or in the reality, what you live in now is like, is the same course the government them is using what Hitler was using. You understand me? So wake up, family. And shake up, you understand me? Come out of these demonic family where they call themselves government, they call themselves they call themselves like demonic, you know what I mean? Yeah, all of these family from the celebrity. In the future, back in the future, yeah, we all are celebrities. Back in the future, we all are rich. Back in the future, we all are free. You understand me, family? So like what I say, I use this technology to go back and forth. Yeah, I hear I stop, you know what I mean? Because everyone stop in this dimension, innit? But in the future, we don't stop, innit? Yeah, like everyone in this future is waiting for God or a protector. But in the future, we all are protector, innit? Alright, so like what I said, everybody in the future, they know themselves, they know them spiritual journey and all of these things. You understand me, family? So make we do that, you understand me? Everything today, what people call the future, is what they take out of the Back to the Future. You understand me? Is what they take out from the past and put it to the present. You understand me? Nothing in this life, I'm saying nothing in this life is real. You understand me, family? It's all make-up to enslave you. So
prior to the revelation of the Reich, the major players in this reality were occultists and magicians of the highest caliber. John Dee, Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons, Frank Molina, L. Ron Hubbard, Walt Disney, and Wernher von Braun had tapped into multiple dimensions, unleashing imagination and annihilation onto the consciousness of the cultures. Not to mention Crowley was quite possibly Winston Churchill. The occult and open culture are so intertwined that it would be easier to separate the salt from the oceans. At the foundational base of every political party, dictator, or crown lies a deeply superstitious and ritualistic religion serving a false god.
You see, just like how they against evil, they are the one who is evil and be against evil. Just like the Jamaican government. You understand me? You see, the Jamaican government is like, he's enslaving the people them today. You understand me? Today is like
police, or am I gonna send the army, or am I gonna send Ministry of Labour up at this man yard because the man gave all his information pertaining to his location. So I want you guys to check out the entire video.
Dangerous. They have to tell you about your nose big and how your head big. I'm just by your mother your fist up. They have for that. When me notice if a man tell you to suck your mother, fast is your find the address and get locked up. Well, my name Nigel not over. Believe I don't see in Hot Seal, Mandeville, Manchester. Me want to work. We have 5 subjects.
The second, you know what I mean? August the 2nd. You understand me? Yeah, 2021. So, family, like I say, come to the future, everybody know everything. Even the fruits, when family is in the future, they're talking to the fruit, they are communicating, they are blessing, they are like strengthening the food when it go into them. So when it go into them, they get spiritual strong. You understand me, family? Alright, so let's go into the future. Back to the future. Inbox me, get my number, we pull together. I'm out.
What you know about rolling down? What you know about rolling? What you know about rolling? What you know about down in the? What you know about rolling down in the?
One word.
One word. One word.
the future. So, as you know say the future is always behind us, innit? Yeah, because it's what we pass through in the world. It's like we are doing today, innit? Yeah, like we can't do something what we don't know about, innit? Yeah, so if you look back in all the different histories what passed through the earth, yeah?
The video you see on the screen right now, it's from the 1950s. People speak about anti-gravity. It's not anti-gravity, it's electromagnetic levitation, and it's the type of technology that they had in the Second World War, and of course way before in the 19th and 18th and 17th centuries. It's what we wrongly understand as Tartaria or Tartary. It's not that, it's beyond that, it's more than that, but for the sake of understanding, the reset of humanity and what happened to the previous civilization that built the Americas and Europe and what we call today Russia and Siberia. So yeah, this is kind of like everything is electromagnetism. Everything is like extracting the energy from the ether, which was forbidden.
It's like we find out that the future is behind us. Mankind want to say the future is in front of us. You understand, my family? Where technology come from? The past. What is the future? You understand me? How we going to learn from our mistake? From the future. You understand me? Because we know the future, innit? But we don't know the past, meaning in front of us. We don't know what is the next move, innit? Yeah, family, so that is the next brainwash, how they brainwash us. You understand me? Even the movie where they call them Back to the Future. They say, Back to the Future. You understand me? Them never say,
Marty! You've got to come back with me. Where? Back to the future.
Forward to the future. But we all looking forward into the future. But reality, the future is behind us. You understand me? Yeah. So we turn our back on the future. You know, if we get the right teaching, would be just living normal, but through everyone is just running into the future. Like, you know what I mean? And you see, yeah, I run going at the future. Family, the future is behind us. Like, maybe if you dig up the future, yeah, it's like you see everything what you see today did exist before. Car, where car come from?
You know the rules of time jumps, right?
Give me the short version.
Okay. Now, I gotta set this thing to the 15. That seems right. Is jump.
Hey, stop.
Now, as soon as you're moving fast enough, that circle's gonna fill up with some sort of green... that time device, or you will be stuck in 1969.
You have these in the future? No. Get on. Keep Jarvis settings at 0 gain. Balance pitching y'all with short bursts on the center stalk between 80 and 100.
Flying car, where it come from? From the future. The future is behind us. You understand me? Enough time you watch movies, yeah? And you watch movies. It's like when you watch all of these beautiful places, family, and see these beautiful places, yeah? It's place where we passed through already. And future what we've been through already. A lot of times you will see family out there look like you. Not into the future because what mankind say is the future. Not into the forward future. There's nothing in the forward future more than destruction, promise and breaking promise. When you look back into the future, you see gods, you see royalty, you see honesty, and you see a beautiful world. A world what the dumb leaders, government, whatever, puppet master, telling us about. The future is forward. It's all destruction and enslavement is there. You understand me? They make money to enslave us. You understand me? But when you look in the future, like look in this now, family, yeah? Yeah, look in this, yeah? Alright. Alright, so look now, family. Look at this beautiful place now, yeah? Look. Look. You really feel say the today mind people can make all of these things. You understand me? So this is the future. And that behind me now, that is the past. Because everything what you see here is about nature. It's about relying on the source of life, yeah? But you see, everything what you know is relying on negative energy. Like the internet, the light we use, yeah? And nothing, we don't really use nothing really for life. Even the water we drink, it make out of chlorine. You understand me? Chlorine is a thing where make you lose your remembrance, innit?
6 pharmaceuticals in our drinking water here. They include ibuprofen, caffeine, monosin, and about 3 or 4 others. In Philadelphia, they had 56 pharmaceuticals or byproducts. They range everything from epilepsy medication to mental health medicines to pharmaceuticals that really run the gamut. Here's the bottom line from the Associated Press on the study they did. It was, as you mentioned, a 5-month investigation involving the AP investigative team. 50 major cities in 50 states were looked at. And drugs were found in the water of 24 major cities.
Even the food we eat today, it's like, it's not even meat. It's processed. You understand me? And them process it with things, what they put on dead people. You understand me? They call them embalmment. Embalmment is to preserve flesh. So when someone dies, for them not to decay quick, it's like they put embalmment. So that is what you're eating. So if you see you putting on weight, you know, say you are a part of that too. You understand, my family? We could work together. We could understand ourselves. Inbox me, get my number, and we go back to the future, yeah? Back to the future. Not forward future, but reality. Innit? Alright, family, so see you back to the future, not forward to the future, because the forward future is all poison, corruption, all these demonic things there. So come, we go back to the future. Alright, see you back into the future, where we're from and where we will live in peace and harmony. Alright.
Because the Bible talk about honey. But what the people didn't know, the honey the Bible talk about comes from a natural bee. The bee that you have today is a hybrid animal. That honey is acid, it is sugar. It will give you diabetes. You tell a diabetic to eat that honey, see what's going to happen. Send his sugar way out of whack. He died of a sugar attack in Germany. Eric Dolphy died with that honey. God did not make that bee. The bee that makes the honey that is alkali is a small little fly. You Jamaicans have seen it. They make the honey in the trees, in the holes, and they go in the ground. Black America doesn't know that. That's why they could sell Black America anything. Because the one thing you and I have as Caribbean, we grew up in the middle of the forest. We understand the forest. Black America understands asphalt. Right. They don't know the forest. So when you put something in front of a Black American brother,
They don't want us to know that we can heal ourselves. They don't want us to know that through a simple lifestyle and diet change, we can thrive. They don't want us to know that the medications they are giving us is only putting a Band-Aid on the problem, never healing. They don't want us to know that the highly processed food, the highly processed sugar,
Three herbs that are going to help with leaky gut, which is also known as gut permeability. Number 2, excess gas. And number 3, acid reflux. Number 1, what we would call slippery elm is definitely one of the best for gut permeability, also known as leaky gut. Number 2, ginger is going to help settle the stomach if you have excess gas. Number 3, papaya seed is a great natural defense for acid reflux.
I have a daughter who avoids meat. It's bad for the environment, Dad. She's a particular fan of the avocado, and unwittingly, she's also potentially a hypocrite. Not just her, but hundreds of thousands of predominantly young people like her who think they're helping the planet when they may actually be causing it harm. Because production of the avocado, green gold as it's known to growers, is doing untold damage to the ecosystem of the far-off countries where it's grown. In Chile, poor people have been left without water as rivers are diverted for avocado production. In Mexico, it's led to illegal logging and land clearances. It's not just the avocado. My daughter occasionally persuades me to buy almond milk. I think it tastes like something that's been trapped in the toilet system for too long, but she seems to like it. But I wonder if she'd be quite so keen if she knew that one almond nut, requires a dozen litres of water. In California, the trees that are grown on there need pesticides, which can be bad for the bees and the pollinators. To which vegans might reasonably say our own dairy industry isn't so great for the environment either. Fair criticism? Well, not entirely. Almond milk, perhaps you have some in the fridge right now, takes 20 times more tap water to produce than British dairy milk. You see, as the Countryfile presenter and farmer Adam Henson has pointed out in an interview with the BBC Radio Times, just because it's vegan doesn't necessarily mean it's good, because those opposing Britain's meat and dairy farmers often rely on an assessment of how farming works abroad, not here. And here, it often works better, not because we have nicer, kinder farmers necessarily, but because of our climate. Ours is a rain-soaked island, so, for instance, you'll hear farmers accused of using 17,000 litres of water to make a kilo of beef. But here, most of that water is rain, not scarce supplies stolen from indigenous tribes. Meat haters also say Britain would be better off growing crops, not livestock, but this country of ours, with its damp but temperate climate, is apt for the growing of one thing in particular, grass. 2/3 of Britain is best suited to grazing animals, not growing crops. And because we're good at grass, we don't need to feed our cows much else. That's not true in many drier parts of the world, where animals are fed food that people would otherwise eat. British dairy and meat isn't sent thousands of miles to get here. Why then are we bothering with soy milk from abroad when we are virtually self-sufficient in homegrown cow's milk? Agriculture does need to change, of course it does. Many farmers are going back to old methods where they raise cows, leaving behind all their natural fertiliser. You can see that change happening on British organic farms right now. But what about the stuff you can't see? Farming produces 10% of Britain's greenhouse gas emissions, but then agriculture does account for about 70% of all our land. And those emissions tend to be methane, unlike the carbon dioxide that spews from power stations or most cars. We now know that the methane emitted, if that's the right word, by cows, breaks down after a decade in the atmosphere. Our CO2 is there for hundreds of years. It's not fashionable to back Britain's dairy and beef farmers, but they have a story to tell that deserves a hearing. Not everything that glitters in a foreign field is green gold. That's tonight's Viewpoint.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.
3 herbs that are going to help with leaky gut.
The human body was not made to eat anything but fruits and vegetables.
I agree with that.
All right? There's a reason why. The cell, mitochondria, can only burn one thing, glucose. Glucose is the sugar found in all fruit.
That's right.
Not fructose and not galactose.
That's right.
All right, those are found in potatoes. Potatoes, they'll say starch or carbohydrate. They're confusing you. It's not glucose in it though. Apples aren't glucose. The plants give you structure. The fruit feed the fuel. So you got structure, you got fuel. That's what the body is running. Beans. Beans are nitrogen fixators. Ooh. You know what nitrogen fixators are? They fixate nitrogen from the atmosphere and they produce ammonia in the soil. All right? Why is that important? Because you have a plant like a mushroom or other plants that when you sit them out, what you'll see is they ferment. All right? Fermentation is rotting. You eat something that ferments, it rots inside your body. Fruit don't rot. real vegetables don't rot. They just decay and go through what's called oxidation. They release their electrons and turn brown in colors, just like the leaves and going through their cycles. Piece of cheese is going to ferment. Beans, you leave it out, they stink. You go to the bathroom, you eat a lot of beans, you stink. That's inner fermentation.
If you want to talk to somebody well informed about diet, don't ask a doctor. They know plenty about drugs and procedures. They know next to nothing about diet and nutrition.
You were, as a cardiologist, what was your training in nutrition?
Virtually nothing. Lots of interest, but the formal training could be measured in minutes. So that's a sad reflection of the focus of conventional healthcare, that there's plenty of time spent on pharmacology and procedures and acute catastrophic care. There's virtually nothing taught about nutrition. And sadly, often formal nutrition is so colored by industry and their agenda. Maybe it's good that physicians are not educated in nutrition because it would be sadly colored by industry.
Most people don't know, or the doctors don't know what cancer is. In your research, what is it? What have you found?
Well, cancer is something we give ourselves. And doctors and researchers want to say that, no, it's genes. We're mapping the human genome. You know, that's where we're going to find that cure for cancer. Well, they're not going to find it there because the cause doesn't lie there. And what happens in the human body is a result of how the owner treats it. And we as Americans have, unfortunately, and I love America and I love Americans, but we've kind of become a fat, lazy country. And we need to do something about that, because when we do the right things, we don't get cancer. Cancer is proliferating today for a reason. We're drinking way too much soda pop. We're drinking diet pop. And if you want brain cancer, drink diet pop. I can almost guarantee you that over time you will get it. So we're doing all the wrong things. We put lotions and potions and what we wash our hair with on our body. They're all carcinogens unless you're buying something that's natural. We drink fluoridated water. Fluoride is a deadly poison. It will kill you as well over time. Chlorinated water. We take showers in chlorinated water. We cook our food to death. That destroys all the goodness in our food. We don't eat any raw food, you know. Raw carrot, kid's not going to eat a raw carrot. He's been taught not to. French fries are not a vegetable, yet they're taught they are. So we give cancer to ourselves by how we treat our bodies, and it causes the body to acidify. And when your body gets acid, all these foods and drinks are acidic. Your inner environment in your body becomes acid. And guess what? Pathogens thrive in acidity. When you're in a clinical environment and doing research and you're testing pathogens, what do? You put acid in there first in that little beaker or whatever, because they grow in acid. If you put it in alkaline, it wouldn't grow. And so it would kill it. Alkaline body is uninhabitable for cancer and all other diseases. Doctors should know this, but almost all Americans are acidic. And that's the reason why we're so sick and getting sicker. We need to stop that.
And pharmaceutical drugs are one of the biggest problems on this planet. Pharmaceutical drugs don't heal people. They just keep them steady enough so you keep buying more drugs. If the drugs healed you, then it would be bad for business, because you buy the drug once, you go, oh, I never need the drug again. I go, yeah, that's not their interest. So while they actually do have drugs that can heal people, they're not on the market. Only because if I sell you a drug that I heal you, you're not coming back to buy a drug again. So people, unfortunately, get on drugs and they get on, well, how long should I take these drugs? It's like, well, take them forever. It's like, oh, my God, this is a drug dealer and you're buying drugs forever. It's like, you don't need these drugs. These drugs are causing more problem than they're helping. That level of medicine is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. Pharmaceutical drugs kill 300,000 people a year. Not illegal drugs, that's only like 20,000 or 30,000, even at the most. 10 times as many people are dying from prescription drugs. I go, drugs are drugs. When you understand the new biology, it's consciousness. Drugs, not necessary in healing when you understand the power of consciousness. And then I go back and I say, quantum physics, most valid science on the planet, says the whole experience is consciousness. Change your consciousness, you change your experience. So the idea is, do I need pharmaceutical drugs? I go, God, no. That is not a way of doing it. Healing with energy and consciousness is the way of controlling your biology.
I could signal you with a chemical, or I could signal you with vibration. And the answer is the biological system would by far have a preference for the vibrational energy because it's so profoundly fast and so significantly efficient that if your life depends on getting a signal, and the cell's life does, then there's no comparison between the two. Chemicals work, but not anywhere as effectively or as efficiently as energy healing. And this is why we're moving from an allopathic chemical drug-related medicine into energy medicine, because it's now been recognized that energy, which includes thought as well, is profoundly more effective in healing than our chemicals.
One of the biggest ones, of course, is cholesterol. Cholesterol was the boogeyman of all time. It even superseded evil spirits, okay? Cholesterol. It was the cause of heart disease. It was the cause of strokes. And it turns out to be absolutely, positively not true. It all started back in 1901 when a German chemist was actually commissioned, I guess would be the word, by the German Navy to come up with a lubricant, a synthetic lubricant for diesel engines used in submarines. And he was successful. His name was Wilhelm Norm in 1901. He was successful, but they only had 100 submarines. So it was not too exciting as far as a market. And so he sold his patent to a British soap firm. They wanted to use it to make soap. And he said, oh, gosh, people are making their own soap. We can't sell it. And so they sold it to Procter & Gamble. They sold the patent to Procter & Gamble. And they said, we can do a better job of selling soap. And they couldn't sell soap. Even when I was a kid, we were making our own soap in the early 40s. We were making our own soap still. And so Procter & Gamble couldn't sell it as soap. They said, well, what's the next biggest market? Submarines are too small a market. Soap is a big market, but everybody's making their own soap. Let's sell it as food. So they began to diss butter and cream and lard as cooking because an unhealthy way to cook. It's saturated fats and has cholesterol in it, and it clogs arteries and does all this stuff. And the American Heart Association was commissioned by Procter & Gamble, who owned the patent for Crisco, which was the name of this lubricant for diesel engines for Nazi submarines, Crisco. And they sold it as a healthier way to cook than cream, butter, and lard, which people have been using for centuries. Well, following their lead, saying that that's correct, we wound up with Alzheimer's disease, low T, erectile dysfunction, adrenal exhaustion, severe menopausal symptoms, many other problems, all because of lowering cholesterol in our diet, using egg beaters instead of eggs, boneless skinless chicken breasts instead of chicken skin. And the American Heart Association came out, like a bandit because they got their $1.7 million back in the, I think it was like 1914, about in there, which is a lot of money back then. It's a lot of money, but it was a lot of money back then, in exchange for an endorsement that Crisco was a much healthier way to cook your food and eat than using butter and cream and lard. Well, I looked for 35 years to find a pivotal paper which showed that belief was correct, and you can't find it because it didn't exist. It was all an ad campaign to sell Crisco. Okay, it was a two full-page story in the Wall Street Journal about 8 months ago. In June 23rd, 2014, I think it was somewhere between an 8 and 10-page story, and it was all about Ansel Keys, the guy who was on the board of Procter & Gamble, on the board of the American Heart Association. He brokered the deal for the $1.7 million from Procter & Gamble to the American Heart Association to get them to endorse Crisco as a healthier way to cook. Well, they created Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease did not exist in 1944. Today it's number 4 killer of adults over the age of 65. Low T certainly didn't exist when I was a kid and Grandpa Didn't have to worry about low T and erectile dysfunction. Menopausal symptoms. Grandma used to go through menopause in 3 seconds in their 70s because they were still cycling and having babies in their 60s. Okay. Adrenal exhaustion is very, very common today, where before you have to appreciate testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and adrenal hormones are all steroid hormones, which are 95% by weight cholesterol.
You know, there used to be like 100 seed companies. Now there's 4 that control 60% of our seeds. You know, there used to be like 100 food companies. Now there's like 9 that own all the other ones. There used to be, you know, lots of fertilizer companies. Now there's like half a dozen that control all the 400 billion pounds of fertilizer made every year. So there's a big consolidation, and these have enormous power. I mean, it's a $15 trillion industry. It's the #1 business sector in the world. It's about 17% of our global economy. And it's controlled by a few dozen CEOs that are, you know, committed to protecting their shareholder value and selling more stuff. I mean, the way Coca-Cola makes more money is selling more Coke. There's an enormous amount of lobbying and influence, and the way the food company controls the narrative is through multiple strategies. One, they corrupt science. So they fund 12 times as much science as funded by the government. And it's like Gatorade, oh, it's good for you, and let's fund it by Pepsi, you know, and Coca-Cola doesn't cause obesity, funded by Coca-Cola. Sugar's not a problem, funded by the coalition of, you know, big food companies. It co-ops scientists in different ways by funding their professional associations, the American Heart Association, the American Diabetes Association, Academy of Nutrition Dietetics, all are funded in part by the food industry and by the ag industry. And so they're not actually completely independent. They shouldn't be making guidelines and recommendations. And then you have front groups that they create to confuse the public, like the American Council on Science and Health, which essentially says that GMO's fine, that pesticides are not harmful, that smoking is okay, and high fructose corn syrup is good for you. I mean, it's kind of almost ridiculous, but they present themselves as this independent group. When you look at who's funding them, it's all big food. So you've got all these front groups, and then they co-opt social groups, like the NAACP and Hispanic Federation are funded in part by the food industry, which is why those groups who are the most targeted and affected by the food industry and the soda and processed food are the ones who are opposing soda taxes and opposing food reforms, you know, because of how they're funded. Now, I spoke once, I was with Bernice King, Martin Luther King's daughter, in Atlanta, and I wanted to present this movie, Fed Up, at the King Center, which was all about how sugar and food was causing all this obesity in kids and stuff. And she was all into it. You know, she says, nonviolence means nonviolence to ourselves. And a few days later, I got a call. We can't show the film. I'm like, why? She says, well, because Coca-Cola funds the King Center in Atlanta. They gave $1 million in the Super Bowl to create free admission to the, you know, social justice, human rights, civil rights museum in Atlanta. It's like they know what they're doing. And then on top of that, there's 187 lobbyists for every member of Congress. So they control science, they control public health groups, they control social groups, they fund research, and they control politics. So 187 lobbyists from every member of Congress. Just on the anti-GMO labeling law, they fought that, and it was $192 million in 1 year that these companies spent to oppose that one piece of legislation. They spent $500 million on the Farm Bill, 600 lobby groups. I mean, they have so much power. And I remember sitting on a boat with a senator this summer, in a sailboat, and we had 2 hours just chat. And, you know, I started laying all this out for him, and he was like, his jaw was open. He just didn't understand this because he doesn't get educated by people like me. He gets educated by the food industry. You know, it's like pharma companies. They educate doctors on, you know, I call it continuing pharmaceutical education instead of medical education. So this is why we have this problem.
few are chosen. One world, one family, one circle. Free world for our brothers and sisters. Inbox me, one movement.
When the earth and everything in it passes away, I will be. I hold the universe together from the smallest atom to the greatest galaxy. It all is in my hands. The sun is hidden in my shadow. I have set the earth on its foundations, and I rest my feet upon it. I stir the waters of the oceans with my fingers and shake the mountains with my breath. I am entirely holy and completely other. There are none before me and none like me who can question what I have done or what I will do. My kingdom is eternal and shall exist forevermore. I am the ruler over the kings of the earth. I am the prince of peace. I am the king of kings, the righteous king, the king of the Jews, the king of glory, the king of the ages, the king of heaven, and I am the Lord of lords.
Fine.